First, uh,
Okay. You. Intent. Clock over. Okay, as we start our meetings, is there anyone here that has a comment that they would like to make that is not related to an item on the agenda this evening? Okay, seeing none, please rise with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you take the roll?
Supervisor Ruckteschell,
Here.
Counselors Alex,
Here.
Chiarenza,
Here.
Gupta, Fleetwood, here, Mannion,
Here.
and Stevenson. Here.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda this evening is our Black History Month proclamation and honoree, Counselor Alex. Please excuse the noise you'll hear from the ceiling. We are doing some construction upstairs, so hopefully it'll be quiet.
I think I hear it.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Supervisor. And to all my fellow colleagues, and to all of you, and particularly to our Town of DeWitt Police, thank you all for taking time and coming as we celebrate not only Black History Month, but one of our very own within the Town of DeWitt Police, and we'll hear more about that in a few moments. DeWitt Town Council Resolution in honor of Black History Month 2025. Whereas Black History Month serves as both a celebration and a powerful reminder that Black history is American history. Black culture is American culture, and that Black stories are interwoven into the fabric of the nation through shared struggles, progress, and aspirations. And historian Carter G. Woodson established Black History Week in 1926 to recognize the significant contributions of African Americans, selecting the second week of February to coincide with the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. And in 1976, the observance was formally expanded by Congress to National Black History Month. And whereas the theme for Black History Month 2026, a century of Black history commemorations, mark the 100th anniversary of Black History Week and honors a century of organized efforts to study, preserve, and elevate African American history, culture, and achievements. And whereas the 2026 theme encourages reflection on the evolution of Black history commemorations and their enduring role in shaping public understanding of African American contributions across generations, institutions, and communities. And whereas during Black History Month, all are encouraged to reflect on the rich history, enduring lessons, and significant contributions of African Americans to recognize the progress, resilience, creativity, and achievements that continue to strengthen society as a whole, and yes, the town of DeWitt. Whereas we affirm the commitment of the town of DeWitt to enhance and engage the people of the diaspora as a part of the operations and as employees of the town of DeWitt. Therefore, we acknowledge and congratulate for his dedicated service and for being the first African American hired as an officer for the town of DeWitt, Police Officer Damian Parker. Officer Damian Parker was born and raised in Syracuse as one of 10 siblings. He is a graduate of Onondaga Central High School, where he was a stellar athlete, excelling in football, basketball, and baseball. that afforded him opportunity to be a part of the SUNY Broome baseball team and to graduate with his associate's degree in business administration. He then played semi-pro professional football in Binghamton. And in 2019, Officer Parker joined the New York Army National Guard, where he served 6 years as a geospatial intelligence analyst. And whereas Officer Damian Parker was hired by the Town of DeWitt Police Department September 15th, 2020, and graduated from the Phase 1 Academy in Casanova July 25th, 2021, he has continued to be a positive contributor to the department and has been known as one of the most proactive officers in the department, which has afforded him to earn multiple commendations and awards. We note that in 2021, he received the Community Service Award for volunteering with PAL, Police Athletic League, where he coached multiple sports. In 2023, Officer of the Year, where his engagement in successful drug-related investigations and arrests and the removing of multiple illegal firearms from our community. And in 2024, he twice received the Outstanding Law Enforcement Accomplishment Award. His keen eye on a suspicious vehicle complaint and the resulting arrest brought about the removing of 93 grams of cocaine. His ability to engage with people allowed him to prevent a fatal outcome of an individual who was attempting self-harm. And in 2025, Officer Parker received yet another commendation where he effected a traffic stop that led to the recovery of cocaine, 16 pounds of marijuana, 7 grams of psychedelic mushrooms. And while engaged in another traffic stop in 2025, it led to an arrest and the safe confiscation of drugs, firearms, and whereas Damian Parker's dedication to professional policing, his keen insight, and ability to effectuate not only safe arrests, but outcomes that remove harmful and dangerous substance from our community. Officer Parker, on January 26, 2026, received promotion to Investigator Damian Parker, the first African-American investigator in the history of the town of DeWitt. It is noted that he earned this promotion due to his work ethic, ability to communicate on all levels with persons, whether a victim, a witness, a suspect, and his passion for digging deeper. His narcotic and firearms arrests are all because of his looking past what we call the stop, end quote. He builds a rapport with people in the community, which allows him to gather information that some others may not be privy to. Moreover, he is steward of the Police Benevolent Association and sets up the Town of DeWitt Police Department pickup basketball game at Manlius Pebble Hill School. Additionally, he is a part of the Town of DeWitt Police recruitment team. Investigator Parker is truly an asset to the department and to the community. So whereas the Town of DeWitt is made up of many people, but stands united. Yes, in fact, we recognize the collective, but find it noteworthy and no more than honorable to recognize the legacy and contributions of African Americans who have added to the growth and enhancement of Central New York, and in particular, the Town of DeWitt. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of DeWitt recognizes and acknowledges the month of February as Black History Month and continues to affirm that the Town of DeWitt is a place where all people, inclusive of people of the African diaspora, can be assured that their heritage, culture, and opportunity to live, work, and grow are celebrated, and that the Town of DeWitt continues to affirm and declare that we are better together. And be it further resolved that we celebrate the work, growth, and professional development of investigator Damian Parker for being a contributor to the history of the town of DeWitt as the first African-American investigator within the town police department. But with continued growth, recruitment efforts, and opportunity, he will not be the last. And be it further resolved that this resolution be distributed and displayed at the town hall on the town website, newsletter, and otherwise publicized during the entire month of February 2026 and become a part of the historical records of the town of DeWitt, submitted by Councilor H. Bernard Alex, DeWitt Town Board. Officer Parker is not with us this evening. He's recovering from a medical procedure that he had. I did speak with him this afternoon, and he said he's just so humbled and he appreciates his fellow officers and the chief for the opportunity, and that there's no way he could do what he does without the brotherhood of the town of DeWitt Police. So we have a resolution for him, and we present chief, I've got a certificate for him. And the certificate reads, in recognition and in honor of Black History Month 2026, this certificate is awarded to Officer Investigator Damian Parker. The town of DeWitt and its community proudly honors and recognizes dedication, professional growth, and contribution of Investigator Damian Parker, whose service marks a historic milestone as the first African-American investigator in the town of DeWitt, awarded February 9th, 2026, recognized by the town of DeWitt Board.
Thank you very much, Counselor Alex, for that recognition. Okay, the next item on our agenda this evening is the Residential Commercial Urban Exemption Program, also known as RP 485A. This is basically a tax exemption on mixed-use properties where the increase in assessment that is placed on a property through to the redevelopment into a mixed-use property is the taxes are set to a schedule to increase from the base level to a full assessment over 12 years. The town has had promoting mixed-use development as a part of its comprehensive plan and as a part of its zoning and goals for a number of years now. The planning department has had a number of mixed-use proposals come through, but we haven't had any finished at this point. We have had one approved, but is under construction. So the idea behind this would be to opt in. This is an opt-in program at state law, but each town, village, city has the opportunity to opt into it. If we opt into it, then there are some rules. There's a schedule you can see in the information that was given to you about over the 12 years what that exemption is. That exemption is on the increase. The base, basically what it is, the assessment before the project begins stays as that base. We're always getting the 100% taxes on that. It's just the increase in taxes that is over that 12-year schedule. Myself, I think that this is a good plan for trying to incentivize some mixed use. I think there is limited downside to the project. What I would like to see for it, though, is beyond just trying to increase housing in the town of DeWitt and this type of mixed-use housing. I think we also want to see affordable housing in the town of DeWitt. And so I would propose that we require to participate in this program a minimum level of units being affordable housing. I think we have to discuss specifically what that limit would be and whether it's, if you have 5 units, it's this many. If you have 10 units, it's this many, or whether it's just a flat percentage. I think we can discuss that before we bring legislation to the board and for a public hearing. But I wanted to open this up, present this to the rest of the board, see if there are any questions or comments from the board, and then also offer it up to anyone else in the audience that may want to speak on the topic as well. So are there any? Yes.
Can I add a couple of things?
Oh, yes.
Really good rundown of what's going on in this statute. I just wanted to add that it's all based on cost of conversion. And so whoever was planning on converting a property into a mixed use had to spend at least $10,000 in cost of conversion. Our town has a local option that we can exercise to require more than 10,000 for cost of conversion in a separate discussion. And then after the conversion, I don't want to mix this up, but I believe it's 40% residential and 15% commercial are the benchmarks that we would use to certify that they are doing the mixed use as contemplated by the state.
What was that again? Can you repeat the?
40% residential and 15% commercial. And it does require that the commercial aspect of the building stay alive. So if the commercial aspect dies after 3 years, then the exemption can be revoked by the town. There's a couple things that will actually have the exemption revoked. That being one of them.
Did you have questions?
Did, what happens to this tax exemption should the property sell within the first 12 years? Does the oncoming owner, are they able to continue the tax policy, or does it go back to 100% market rate and that's what they're paying?
Every year they have to submit paperwork that says they meet this exception. So if they change ownership, they would still have the opportunity to submit that paperwork and continue the exemption. They have to check with us every year. We approve it every year.
Okay, and it would be based on the property, not on the number of owners, for
Based
example?
on the property and the use of the property, really. And they have to be using it as intended by the statute in order to keep the exemption. And so that's why every year they have to submit information that says they're using it that certain way. And then we stamp it, or our assessor stamps it, and then they get it for that next year.
Is there, if say owner number 2 comes in on year 7, they would have 5 years of the program left versus starting at year number 1 under their ownership and continuing on for 12 more years?
Correct. It's based on the
New
time of the renovation.
The conversion happens.
Conversion, yeah.
Thank you.
That would be year 1, correct?
Yes, India.
So can you clarify a few things?
Mhm.
One is the conversion, $10,000. It seems like a small amount. I don't know, conversion from if there's a commercial property and trying to make it like in city of Syracuse, we have seen multiple places where they have like a commercial as well as residential there. So is that the minimum requirement is 10 grand?
That's the minimum. We have a local option to require more than 10,000, but we can't require less than 10,000.
Right. I mean, I feel
We can
like,
say it has to be 20,000, 30,000, or 40,000, or whatever.
well, it depends on if there's a smaller building versus a bigger building.
I think the idea is that this is supposed to be for real renovations or new development as mixed use rather than an already mixed use
Right.
building trying to say, oh, we're going to renovate it for little to no money and basically save more in the property taxes than they're getting in the renovation. Again, if somebody spends $10,000 renovating their property,
Yes.
the increase to the assessment is not going to be $500,000. The increase to the assessment would be, somewhat smaller, and it's only that increase in assessment that the tax exemption is on.
So,
Correct? I mean, we have our assessor here. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not made for maintenance.
Yeah.
If you're putting in a new HVAC system and
Repairs.
you're doing a roofing, it's not made for that. It's made for major upgrades, and therefore you've got to have that
buildings that are not mixed use that then become mixed use. It's the point is that buildings are not mixed use and then they're incentivized now to convert it to.
45A is to create mixed use.
Yes.
So I'm not clear about tax exemption. What kind of tax exemption is this?
So say a property is valued at $400,000 today. Somebody puts $100,000 into it to convert it to mixed use. And then that,
It'd be then worth $500,000.
Yeah.
it's now worth $500,000.
Be 100,000 extra.
They would be paying the taxes on $400,000 for the first 8 years. They'd have 8 years where they're not paying an increase in taxes on that based on the renovation.
So you're incentivizing people to have the mixed use.
The next year it would be 420 and the 10th year it would be 440.
And then yes,
Right.
and then it goes to, by year 13, it's full value.
It's only for the town, the 15% town exemption.
Yes, the way that the 485A is written,
Schools, not for the county, it's just.
they can go to the school and they can go to the county to have it done. But all we control is, it's like the senior tax exemptions that we have. All we control is our town taxes.
And this is,
We can, like 485B is available at the county level. If we institute a 485B, we accept it for both the county and us.
Okay.
But they come through us to apply and the county just accepts it because they don't have to go to the county to get them to sign the 485B. We do it.
So there is a table here which actually talks about there's a county, city, town, village, everything is exempt, I guess, X is exempt. Is there really limitation and exemption? Let's see it.
H2.
Let's see it. So 12 years, then it says taxing jurisdiction, county or county special district, city, town, village, school district not applicable.
That's saying exempt for that 12-year period.
Right, so that's something, you just go to one place and so if it's in town, if your town is participating in it, then you will get county exemption to it. Yes, is that?
No,
On the-
they would have to apply to the county and they would also.
Oh,
apply
they
to
will
the
have to apply.
For the 485A program, yeah, the assessor's talking about the 485B program, which is
For
different.
our portion.
They can't go apply. The county has to make a decision, just like you got to make a decision to start offering the 485A.
Okay,
They're offering the 485B, E, F, G. Those are the ones that are available there, a couple of them for buildings and building.
The city has A,
Yeah, but
45A.
right, the city and there's two that have the A, but it's only for them. The county does not participate.
And these are on new build. They can get this exemption in new build as well, multi-use.
I believe a new build multi-use would count as well, or is it just
Supposed to be, the 485A is supposed to be renovation of
an existing
I
property?
think it's new build, not that I'm reading the statute.
So is there exemption for new builds? But not this one, of course, but is there?
They would typically go to the county.
Not for this particular.
They would go to the county if they're looking for,
It probably, yeah,
most of all of our pilot agreements are through the county.
yeah. I would imagine for a new construction mixed use, if that's probably in the IDA range, and we'd be hearing from them that way.
Because if we're looking at housing, new housing, in particular in town of DeWitt, it would be more, I'm just doing a birth view. A new build more so than a
Right.
mixed use renovation.
This is definitely a small piece of a bigger project of adding more housing to the town of DeWitt. But this infill renovation to add density, to add different types of housing, we're going to need to address all of these types of housing and all these types of projects.
Townhouse,
Yep.
homes.
This
Yeah.
says that upon adoption of a local law, non-residential real property upon conversion. So it's got to be non-residential real property now,
Turning into,
turning into mixed use.
Yeah. Are there any other questions from the board? Are there questions or comments? Yes. Can you say your name for the record?
Greenwood. I'm a builder and developer in this area, and I have some questions. First of all, congratulations on your position.
Thank you.
You've mentioned affordable housing, and as a builder, I'm looking at cost of housing, and it seems to me that anything affordable has to have some sort of grant attached to it. Has to have some sort of subsidy attached to it. So I think, you know, I'd love to see the board have some sort of subcommittee that invites builders, developers from the area with the planners, with the town planning board, and sort of put everybody's head together so that the ideas can be strategically aligned. Because what I've seen happen is that, you know, there might be some ideas that come out of the board, but when you go to the planning board, you may not have the proper codes for it. And even though, you know, you may talk about mixed use, well, this type of mixed use is allowed, but this type is not. And this building must be attached, or this building must not be attached. I've gone through it with a project I had on Colma Road in East Syracuse. And I'm interested in building 22 apartment units. So I'm also interested in, is the town of DeWitt interested in those types of projects as well? And if you are interested in building new apartments, you know, what is a way to go to do it? You know, Carrie, you mentioned the IDA or some of the county. Well, trying to get through to the right people to get that done is not easy. You know, there's all programs that come in and out, but I'm still trying to figure out how Mike Ryan is going to come to this town and all this housing is going to get built. And I think the town of DeWitt could sort of, you know, take a lead in terms of just getting our act together and saying, how can we get together and figure this out and bring builders together? And this is a pathway to do it.
So I thank you very much, and I actually agree with you. We are going to be working on our comprehensive plan that is going to take serious input from both the county's comprehensive plan and their housing plan. And as part of that, I believe we're definitely going to have a focus on housing in that. And I think as part of the public outreach, bringing in developers for different ideas of what they think is out there for a market and what we can build and home builders and all that. Yes, I think is very appropriate.
I think having subcommittee is a really great idea. And then when you're talking about having grants, having some, you know, connectivity, not only with the county, but also with the state. Because a lot of times, where are the opportunities? Where can we get infusion of whatever we can get it in our community? That would be a good one too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
They have programs. I came out of Utica, and there's a lot of people in the planning group there that want to do planning group to planning group contacts about how to set up affordable housing to work with the state and the county and do those sort of things. They've done a lot of affordable housing lately in that state.
That's great. Well, we'll have to connect that resource to our planning department as well.
City?
City of Utica, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they have many projects that are going on.
Yes. Legislator Hernandez.
I want to say thank you for this, because this is important, right? Making sure that we have affordable housing across the county. I just want to let you know that I am here. If you have any time you want to sit down and discuss this further and see how we can discuss this and partner on what we need to do from the county side to help support you at the town side.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Legislator. Yes, Andy.
Today, what's this anything?
What do you do?
A real estate developer,
Thank you.
former banker. Just planning for the SF, that kind of thing. I saw a statement, but everybody pretty much covered what I was talking about or was going to address. I think for the project that I'm considering using statute for, if it becomes reality, is predictability. So it's the greatest advantage for it, using the program. You can plan for a lot. Operating expenses are pretty predictable year over year. You can get histories on property that you've had, or, for the current, the commercial uses is been there. But there's a lot you want to do to it to make it livable. Interest rates on banks are high, relatively. Cost of labor and materials are increasing. Take the bogey away from what the assessment's going to be, you have no idea today, is what will get a lot of projects over that hump, I believe. It certainly will for us. We've underwritten it every which way, and just taking out that variable and putting a number in, even if it's break even, adding any kind of affordable pieces or anything else like that is totally fine. The problem is when you start today, and you still have to lease them up and get the rents that you think you can based on, all those factors. You could get hit with an assessment and just makes the thing totally unworkable. So to have that knowledge of where we're gonna be when we start today, finish, here's our numbers, here's what we know things cost, and where we'll end up. Just pulling the variable out is a big one, and the property tax can be a big variable. Underwrite to a number that we hope the assessor will never, ever think about using. But they're all overly cautious. There's a lot that can go wrong during the construction period, during the lease-up period. The last thing they want to do is see anything boggle there and then get hit with an assessment that you had no idea. It could really destroy a project. And by then they're involved and they're regulated. So they use a number which is really high. So if we can put this in place, give them what we know it to be, even with giving back with the other things attached, we know what we have. So anybody that gets into something and is a little bit on the fence about it, this might give them a jump. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Sandy.
Are there any other comments on this topic? Questions? Great, well, then am I reading the will of the board that we can move forward with writing some legislation to enact this with some affordable housing requirements to it?
Yep.
Okay, then in the upcoming weeks, I'll send out some draft legislation that Matt and I will work on to get rid of. Yes.
You get any form of objective numbers to go with that when we're talking about what does that affordability look like? That piece, should it be a flat rate? Should it be a scaling?
There's an equation.
Yeah, there's
I don't
some,
know off the top of my head, but there's
some information from HUD that we're going to take to try and take a federally defined rate to add to bolster the legislation.
based off our median income in the town to work. So
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure we're basing it off.
On DeWitt, yeah, it's gonna be based on DeWitt, yeah. Okay. Okay, Clerk Eppolito brought to my attention that although Councilor Alex did such a fine job reading our resolution, that to make it official, why don't we actually vote on it? So I'm gonna take a motion from Councilor Alex. Do I have a second? A second from Councilor Clete Hood. All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much. Officially adopted.
Thank you.
Okay. We have from Assessor Maxwell, we are looking to post and canvass for a clerk in the assessment office. Did you want to speak just for a moment as to the needs of your department in this way?
I'm Assessor Maxwell. I haven't met everyone here. The department is it's been a little bit overwhelmed recently because we have a lot of paperwork that isn't getting filed, isn't getting taken care of. And there's two things to be thinking about here. One is the work that needs to be done now, but also building some experience at a little bit younger level in our group, because we've had a lot of including myself, issues with health over the past years, and we seem to be down to only one or two people being there all the time. So bringing someone in at a clerk level, to help out with and learning the whole process of being an assessor. The assessing, a lot of people do not understand it. It takes time to get them up to understand the exemptions and the filings and the rules for how long you keep paperwork and all those sort of things. It takes time, and the best thing for it is that, you know, bring someone in and to look to have, as we pass along. I think it's very hard to find assessors and experienced people to bring in to be able to do these sort of things if we need it. So I really believe we need that backup in the group and to start, we've got historical files that are sitting out there that everyone knows about and comes in and asks for them, and they haven't been updated in 2 years because we haven't got anyone in there to be able to do that. So getting those files back up and going through all the files and knowing you go up there and you see the amount of files up there and just going through them and taking out the stuff. Could be running out of room, taking out the stuff that shouldn't be there anymore. Systematically going back through every single file, taking that out of 12,000 files. Takes time, and understanding what you can take out, what you have to leave in it. So it's a kind of a ground level position, but it's really a learning position, and we got a lot of experience in there right now, but it needs to start getting transferred to other people.
So for those of you that have are not new, for those of you that are, we had a fourth person in this department about a year ago that did not last very long. In going from the 2025 to 2026 budget, we moved that was a deputy assessor position. We did move it to a clerk. So there is another clerk position in assessment that is budgeted in the 2026 budget. So we already have that.
To answer the question.
Here we go. It's already in the budget, and we did a preview. There is actually for assessment clerk, there is an active civil service list. So we can start by canvassing that list. And if that list doesn't pan out, we can advertise internally and externally as well. Any questions on that?
I just have a question.
Sure.
So you're going to train this person? How long does it
don't
take?
know, I was just.
I will get that answer for you. It depends on our step if they have experience. But I do not have the step one rate in front of me. I will email that to you.
Okay.
And I will remember for next time to have that.
I think it's long overdue. I mean, that office needs help. There's gonna be some retirements in the next, I'll imagine, few years. And definitely need to get somebody up to speed and experienced in there.
They need to be certified or something?
Eventually, as they move along, there's classes in how to do data collection, there's classes on administration, there's all series of classes that I took to become an assessor. So at each level of what you're doing, there's different classes to be taken.
So
The
when you,
initial one is really the admin one.
right,
It's-
it's a starting point.
Yeah, and it's 6 days, 3 days, 1 week, 3 days next week, and a test. And that gives you the background of what the forms are, what everything is for that. And you can do that online
Okay.
and then take the test online even.
So when you said that there is a lot of things which are not put like in an organized way or archived or something, do you archive them electronically or you're talking about paper files?
It is still paper.
It's still paper.
We're doing a lot of the more current stuff. But there's old records that go back into the 40s and 50s that everyone has kept up, and the town of DeWitt, it just seems like everybody in the town of DeWitt knows that they exist, and they ask if you got the old cards, and it's this old card thing that has.
So they're not digitized yet?
Is this part of our plan for the Laserfish project?
Well, Al and I, when Al was here, Al and I were talking about, I mean, but digitizing them is gonna be hefty.
Yeah, that
You're gonna
takes a
need
lot.
more than one person. I mean, planning and zoning, just a very small portion of them are like 50,000. I mean,
You're not even.
it's not cheap to do and it's not quick. I mean, I'm just trying to do the zoning board minutes right now. And I mean, we probably did a stack this high and I'm not even done with it. So it's a very slow process unless the board wants to start committing some serious funds to digitizing.
We can, maybe this is something where we can look into, I know there are some grants out there for digitizing.
Yeah, we did try and they denied us. So, I mean, but Doug can keep trying.
We can keep trying
Because I was
and
gonna ask the Towns and Village Association to be a sort of resource to find potential funding for greater efficiency for towns and villages.
New York State Archives has a grant that's up, I think it's 50,000 they offer you up. But that's not even, I mean, it's not gonna put a dent in it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
And honestly, I would probably say the planning and zoning office is more important to focus on than the assessors, because the assessors, you can go to those records and that's reliable. Right now, the planning and zoning office does not have all of their information into a computer system or readily available. So I think the more value would be placing that first funds into planning and zoning.
so once we get planning and zoning completed, we'll come back and talk about.
I mean, but I'll work with you definitely if, you know, we have the Laserfish there, that things can start to be scanned that way. It's just the back history, that's.
So maybe we can figure out a plan for new records, stuff from a certain point.
Right, right.
Going forward, we'll just make it digital and then there'll be a historical paper archive that someday we can.
At least moving forward, if we can do that, then you have a catch-up time
Yeah.
in between and try.
Yeah, things sense of my personnel issues.
Oh, no, yeah,
Yeah,
we need, yeah,
Some of that stuff is.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm supportive of it, knowing that it's already in the budget. So
Okay.
that was my big hurdle.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve from Sarah, a second from Indu? So this motion is to post and canvas for an assessment clerk. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Run drive back to Utica.
Yes. Have a safe drive. At least hopefully it's not snowing. It's not supposed to snow till tomorrow, I think. Okay, Director Cantrell, authorization to register for the Onondaga County Planning Federation Annual Symposium.
So the annual planning symposium is coming up on March 19th. We always send a pretty big contingent from the town. Planning and zoning board members need to get 4 hours training per year per the state. So this is where most people get their training. So we would like to send 16 people, which is 5 staff plus Matt, 6 planning board members and 3 ZBA members. Total is $1,360. $85.
Thanks for covering me. I appreciate that.
And just so that everybody knows, planning and zoning board, even though they are volunteers, do have mandatory training requirements to stay on the board. So this is part of it. The town does pay for that so that it's not an extra expense since they're volunteers.
How often do they do that?
It's an annual.
Oh, it is annual.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do believe we do budget for the.
Yes, it's in our training budget.
Yeah, it's in the training budget. So. Are there any questions on that? Do I have a motion to approve from Bernard, a second from Joe? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Proposed wholesale retail club and accessory gas pumps zoning code changes.
So we're proposing a new zoning code to create 2 new uses, wholesale retail club and accessory gas pumps, which is an accessory use to the wholesale retail club. Kind of goes with what we did a few months ago, creating grocery stores as a use, shopping centers to kind of differentiate some different retail uses that don't really fit in with, you know, your regular retail use. So the way this would work, the first part here is saying what districts it would be allowed in. So in high tech, business and industrial, wholesale retail club would be a permitted use. And gas pumps accessory would be a specific permit use. So it would have to be accessory to the wholesale retail, and they would have to get a specific permit in order to have the gas pumps. Then we add definitions for gas pumps accessory and for wholesale retail club. I'm not going to read these to you, but basically, the gas pumps need to be an accessory use. They can't be more than 32 gas pumps. Wholesale retail club would have to be at least 150,000 square feet in size, exclusively on a membership basis, allowing members to purchase goods at wholesale prices, primarily in bulk quantities. And then we're adding another section called accessory gas pumps. This is similar to the gas service station use that is a primary use that we have, where we don't want to put all of this in the definition. So we do have some requirements, such as they must be located on the same lot as the wholesale retail club, shall not exceed 10,000 square feet of the gas pump area, which is just around the pumps. No such accessory use shall be located closer than 100 feet from any residential lot or residential district boundary line is measured from the nearest lot lines. So there's just several conditions, basically, in the accessory retail or accessory gas pumps.
Where was the number 32 pumps? Where did that come from?
That's in the definition.
I know
Where
it's
did
in
it
your
come from?
definition, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of some of the standard for like the wholesale retail clubs, what they're starting to implement these days is.
32?
Yeah. because they saw it.
Over Christmas, I was.
Sorry, it's more than that. They add up.
What?
2 on each side.
There'll be
They add up.
4 in each, so you're talking 8 rows?
Not necessarily, a lot of them are lining up vertically, so there's like 4 pumps vertically, so it's like a 4x4 square. Essentially.
Yeah, I was at a
4 rows with 8 on each, you know.
Costco in San Diego over Christmas. And it was exactly that. They were stacked vertically and it was,
Diego is so humongous.
I understand. I'm just saying that was the size that they had.
So this is a minute, so this is like they can go up to that.
Yeah,
Doesn't
Yeah.
mean
it's a maximum. Yeah.
Yes, they can have 4, they can have 6. How about electric? Like a charger?
This doesn't handle electrical, that's a separate issue. And we
Really?
do allow EV chargers.
We don't?
as a site.
We do a lot.
We do. Shouldn't it be in the same thing
No,
at the same time?
2 different, that would be a separate, that would just be part of site plan.
It
Yes.
actually has different requirements for its chemical properties.
Right, but, okay, so you don't have to amend anything in that one?
No, EV chargers would already be allowed.
Oh,
This is just for zoning of gas pumps accessory and wholesale retail.
Right, I mean, I was thinking that you don't have to do it again.
They go to site.
We
they're on- back to that.
could, in theory, put I mean, you tell me, probably be more of a lawyer, but in the accessory gas pumps, we could, in following general requirements, we could say that if there was however many gas pumps were built, that a similar number, the same number of electric charging stations would need to be built in the overall site.
So make it a requirement.
I would put that in the bottom part. In the requirements.
And that was actually a proposal that Supervisor Mikulenko, before he left, was talking about wanting to put into our code.
So they'll have this, let's say if they say we are going to have 14, whatever, like.
We would require 15 charging stations in their overall.
Okay, electric charger, not many, they're electric cars.
That was the proposal. I think it was aspirational. But you see, the pathology lab is proposing something like 40 or 50 charging stations or something.
Vehicles that they provide.
That they're for couriers? Okay.
When we see EV chargers, we don't let them put up signage for like EV cars only, so it's still a parking space that, anyone can occupy really, so it still counts for their parking count. So it's not necessarily taking it out of the parking count to offer the EV chargers.
Excuse me, you did say that the EV parking space is anybody can park there?
Yes, we haven't allowed people to.
I'm just asking my own FYI, I was like, really? I can-
Yeah, well, it's generally, when we're seeing them come in, they're going into existing parking lots and we don't want to have to send people for variances, reducing all their parking numbers, so. And I think unless you have like the fast chargers, I don't know that they're all full all the time. I think when they have fast chargers, people are lining up for them, but not necessarily always the.
Old Lincoln Center put electric chargers in, I think we have 15 of them down there.
So Max, just to.
Never seen anybody use them.
Never.
We've got them over at town center, there's probably 5, 6. Maybe once every 3 months, I see somebody using.
Yes.
I think it's, I would think if you're going in the building that they can charge a bar. I've never seen.
No. They fix up your garage. Charged up for the night, you get 400 miles on your full charge and you charge up a week or two later. The cold weather is not great for electric vehicles,
At all.
particularly this cold weather we've had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And I've got a hybrid right now
yeah, I have it too, and
and
it just
I've
burns
got
in.
worse gas mileage since the winter started. I don't think it works at all.
Just to clarify. So if there is a up to 32, then what we were talking, then they have to put equal number of.
It can be, I wouldn't go beyond equal, but it could be whatever number we wanted to require. If we were gonna say 2 for 1.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
2 for 1 is better.
Yeah.
Better scale.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of the
2 for 1, 2 gas pumps to 1.
Yeah.
Correct, right.
Not the other way.
64 EV chargers.
Is that requirement or any of the other requirements going to affect the already established retailers such as Sam's Club or BJ's? You don't have.
No, and really, so right now, gas pumps aren't allowed at the high tech district, and the town board for years has, held strong on that, not wanting to have gas stations as a primary use in the high tech district. Gas stations are allowed in business and industrial already, but this is a way that they would be allowed on a very limited basis when they're also connected to a wholesale retail club. Wholesale retail clubs right now would already be allowed in the high tech district, business district, and industrial district, and it's just a retail.
But similar to, as we did with a grocery store and a shopping center, we're calling it out in part because it is such a different usage. It's massive size. It has different concerns than just a regular retail store.
So in other towns nearby, do they have the same sort of a EV requirement or it's option? Because I don't want the business to be burdened.
So we have long had more environmental requirements than other towns surrounding us. I think it's one of the things that is good about the town of DeWitt. EV chargers are not in the, if you're talking about putting in 32 gas pumps, putting in 16 EV charging stations is a rounding error in the cost of
It is space too, right?
well, they can just, they're gonna, a 150,000 square foot wholesale retail club is going to need hundreds of parking spaces.
Right.
To just be able to put 16, honestly, I mean, Wegmans, without us requiring it, put in how many EV chargers?
Well, I'm familiar there. We just saw another proposal from them that went through the planning board and we approved it, but then it wound up falling apart.
Okay. But they were proposing a number of charging stations. Yeah, I mean, places are proposing to put them in one way or the other. I mean, I would imagine if a new Sam's Club came in, they would have EV chargers of some number, so.
These are superchargers.
No, any charger.
Oh, these are.
They're not usually the.
They're not superchargers.
And there's a significant cost jump from
Yeah.
the baseline
Oh.
to supercharge.
Usually they're the middle one.
Okay. And last question I'll ask, sorry, is the advertisement. I know the town of DeWitt doesn't allow the advertisement on their little TV thing, or it's on the top. And
We
why?
generally say no advertising on gas stations at all.
Gas station where people are
Like the
filling.
pumps, or like we
At the
just saw
pumps.
on that planning board last meeting where they wanted to have poles with like a little, like a podium type size thing where they could put ads out there. We said no.
I mean, usually on the screen, there are things that are happening on
Yeah,
the screen.
so when people come in for site plan, they tell us that the actual gas pump isn't something that they control. You know, they control the signage around it, and the site, but the gas pump is something that's just bought as that. So we always say no advertising. The people who are coming in don't generally have any sort of control over the gas pump, so I don't know.
Oh,
The
That's
TVs are there, they're already there.
they're already there.
That's part of the,
Yeah, it's a part, oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
I
we
get it.
say no advertising, but generally that's not something that anyone who's coming into planning board is able to discuss.
But we did say that I remember that was a conversation with the planning board at the Wegmans chargers. There were some EV chargers that had advertising on them, and the planning board said no on those.
I was trying to be very conservative with signage, you know, so it's not just, everything's not, it's just very cluttery. Yeah, so we try to.
Noise clutter too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I personally actively avoid any gas station where there's something talking to me while I'm pumping gas.
Well,
So perfect, getting the attention to that. In my own zone.
There you
Talks too much. I'm like, stop, what are you doing?
Yeah. All right, so really all we're doing tonight, I like the discussion. The motion before us tonight is just to refer this to the planning board. And I think we can refer it with the addition of some kind of a 2-to-1 or some kind of EV charger requirement as well.
Yeah, they can also look at some of the nearby things and get whatever is like a benchmark of some other places too, like what is the proportion
EV charger.
for the EV charges? Yeah.
Where of any, but.
Well, we could see how many there are at other sites and locations and ask for a few more than they already have.
They don't? Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's the question will come, do you require them or you give them an option?
Right.
Sometimes required becomes a little bit of a burden for the lack of.
it can be, but hopefully there'll be some more EV cars out there. The technology will improve and the batteries will hold their charge and hold a little bit more. And the price
We've
comes
seen a
down.
lot of EV requests, requests for EV last year.
Yeah,
Several hotels.
they are coming without requirements.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot.
I mean, option gives them, they can do it. Then requirement is that you have to do it. That's what the difference. So I would choose option than the requirement because people, if they want it, of course they're going to do it. These are big corporations, you know. They don't want to keep on digging it. So.
Yeah, but the big corporations, like you said, they've got big.
They can afford
Okay.
it.
Yeah, that's an easy thing to request from them, I would guess. There are lots of hard things you can request, but that probably isn't too difficult.
We just want to seem as a friendly owner to it.
That's the truth.
Okay, do I have a motion to refer this to planning board from Bernard, a second from Joe? All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we'll wait to hear back from the planning board.
Thanks, Monica.
Okay, next on the agenda is the 2026 CNY Stormwater Coalition Resolution. I apologize, I did not notice that the documentation was not on the agenda attached to this, but I did email it today and you all have printed copies of it now. This is something we do every year, but we have a couple new board members here. So Doug, if you could just give us a quick walkthrough of Stormwater Coalition and.
So this is an annual program. There's a Stormwater Coalition that has 30 different communities in Central New York. That Central New York Regional Planning assists with the MS4 program. This year, the cost is $3,600. And basically, the scope in general terms is public education and outreach, and public participation and involvement, which would be heavy lifting for each individual community to do. So at $3,600, it's relatively a steal. And there's a resolution here. In addition, regional planning from time to time applies for grants. They were successful a year or two by getting some grants, and they've been doing mapping through all the various communities. They've done some mapping into it in the repository for the GIS programs that are part of the MS4 program.
Are there any significant changes year over year?
No, not really. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I forget what I didn't look up what it was last year. But it's right around that $3,000.
It's been that price every year since I've been here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
I have a program question. So this is a coalition. I tried to read about that a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's a central New York, so DeWitt is going to be part of that. And when you say public education, can you explain a little bit more? Who does the public education? And what kind of public education?
Look at the scope that Max sent out this afternoon. I was actually at pretty detail. Both kind of what they wanted to do. So, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and then into page 4, they talk about community partnership.
Yeah, and you know, some of the stuff on page 2 and 3, you know, there are things that they do like, they have outreach programs and phone calls, and it's obvious that they're in touch with DEC and EPA, and right, they do, and then they propagate that out to the different communities, and you know, then we work with Rocco's group and Alana's group.
They will do press releases and all those kind of things and
Yes,
do interviews and different things.
they used to do kiosks in the mall. You'll see like in the Eagle Bulletin from time to time, they'll have inserts in there that just say, you know, save rain or, you know.
So
those
how
kind of
does the
things.
normal public will hear? I'm just trying to kind of, because I never heard of it before.
Unfortunately, they haven't really come around to social media yet.
And that's what they should be pushed to.
They do the
If you
Earth Day
remember.
cleanup and direct outreach. These are the different examples of what they're doing.
And then,
Basically,
on an annual basis, the town has to do an annual report. And there are 6 reporting procedures. There's public outreach. There's,
Oh, the town does the annual report on it?
Yep. There's public education, there's public participation, it's a discharge tracking. Onondaga County does part of that. We just got that one memo where they went to several different outfalls around the town and everything looked good. Then we have construction site runoff control.
Yeah.
Those are some of the things that I work with this group on, where we get reporting on the larger projects where there's soil disturbances, and we make sure that we have silt fence and stormwater pollution plans.
I know they did great work. I mean, the thing I was reading is it's a great thing to have, to have public know that.
Yeah.
So our staff gets involved with them. Is that how many number of people? So who's representing town of this coalition?
Oh,
I don't know nothing about this. I'm just trying to learn, nothing else.
yeah.
our DAC committee, which is headed by Dennis.
Yeah, yeah.
They have,
Oh, he
they
does,
have
okay.
they do a lot of
Of
the
this. okay.
outreach on behalf of both the town, DAC, and then the tree advisory committee, whatever their formal name is.
Okay. So they
do-
attend the meetings and all those kind.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Okay. It's trying to.
And it's a big assist because if we had to do public outreach, public education on our own,
Yeah, yeah.
it would be a heavy lift.
Yeah, and then also you basically are promoting the same universal information.
Yeah.
You
and
don't
if
have to recreate everything.
Yeah, and if you look back at the historical program going back to the early 2000s, I mean, you can see that, you know, stormwater activity and education and just the appreciation that the public has. I mean, a lot of things have changed. You know, you don't see the nitrogen phosphorus on
Yeah.
loadings on properties, or a lot of people washing their cars in their own driveways. That was a big thing. That was something that was hard for people to learn.
Okay.
You know, not filling catch basins with grass clipping or motor oil, that type of stuff. So the program's really evolved over the last couple of decades.
So do we put, I don't know, do we put anything on our website or something and
Yeah, we talk about
throw
stormwater.
things out to the public?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the social media?
Yeah.
Probably not as much as we could.
Yeah, that would be a nice thing to do. It's important actually.
Well, as we work towards our monthly newsletter that we're going to be doing, I think we can add a stormwater
Sure, yeah.
part to
Yeah,
that.
it's easy.
Well, some information out of there.
Yeah.
And then the Stormwater Coalition is a good place for getting little snippets of information to give out to the
Yeah.
town of DeWitt residents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the resolution and the payment from Sarah, second from Indu? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, thank you, Doug.
You're welcome.
Okay, the town board minutes from January 26th. Has everybody had a chance to review? Okay, if there are no changes, I have a motion from Carrie, a second from Bernard. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. We do not have a check register for this meeting. So we're on to town board updates. I just have one before I get to Angela. I just wanted to, beyond our wonderful recognition tonight from Councilor Alice, I just wanted to share with everyone and with the broader community that we had two DeWitt residents that were honored by the Onondaga County Legislature with a gold seal at their meeting, including Councilor Alex and former legislator Linda Irvin as historic firsts in Onondaga County. So congratulations to both of them for that. Okay, are there, you have an update on SPCA?
Yeah, I was just gonna let everyone know that, I have been in touch with the SBCA. Today I talked to one of the new board members. I'm sending the contract that we have already signed from the organizational meeting to them. And I was gonna continue to update. They seem to be trying to get their ducks in a row right now.
You got a full board? Do they have a new? full
They
board?
have a new full board, yeah, but they don't have an executive director currently. And I was gonna just give them some time to organize and then, reach out and just kind of touch base and make sure that, they have what they need or they don't need it, that things are going well. And they don't need anything from us or.
Do you know if they are in good standing with the?
New York Ag and Marks. That's what agriculture and markets. Every report I've ever gotten from them, and we get at least, I wanna say, I think twice a year they do a shelter report. I've never seen any that have come back. Bad, they've all been acceptable, so I'm not sure whether it's, I don't know whether Ag and Markets does it at a certain time and they've always been fine. Or, is there something, I don't know. As far as I know, I've not had any real complaints from anyone from the dog control services that we have.
But as far as you know now, they are in good standing.
Yeah, I did hear from the news that they have that supposedly they're gonna be doing I don't wanna call it an investigation. It sounded like more like they're gonna do an inspection and make sure everything's on the up and up, but I'll keep the board apprised of anything that I hear either way. And, if anybody, I hope to meet with someone. Hopefully they'll get an executive director pretty soon.
Come to a board meeting or
So they have
something.
a chair of the board? That's
No, I don't, they don't have email addresses.
They're just
I
getting
think
together.
they're just brand new. They're calling from their own personal stuff and just trying to get their contracts. I mean, I really don't want to speak for the board.
Yeah, but from your conversations that you've had over the last month and then today, the animal control officer is still
Still there.
working.
Yes,
That
Daniel is still there.
the services that we're paying for, they're still operating.
Yes, and actually he just called me about a situation, so
Yeah,
he's
he was-
definitely doing.
He showed up to our Springfield Garden meeting. I don't know if you read that, one, but he was great. I mean, he's very committed, very passionate about his job. I think I saw him on the news. I think I saw. Right, but I was across protesting.
So because they've had they get, every now and then I'll get an email about dogs affect Springfield Garden.
He
On
was,
license and.
he gave him his card, his phone number, they call I have confidence that if they have it built over there, this guy will show up.
I've commented Dan, he does a really good job. I've talked to him
Yeah,
a few times.
he was really impressive.
He really cares about the animals a
Yeah,
lot.
he does care about
I
that.
appreciate it.
So Max, so even though we gave, how much we gave to Max? What was the money?
35.
It's probably more.
35 plus 7-ish, it's like a little over
It's
40.
probably, yeah.
What is that? So you give them all, they bill you, that's how,
Quarterly.
quarterly, so they should give report quarterly.
Oh,
I mean,
not if-
especially-
Not if that's not in the contract. I mean, if you didn't state that in the contract.
I have to do that.
I mean, but the thing is, can't you just, because they're going through so craziness right now.
I think once,
And you can require them to do that right now, that considering there's new changes, you have no, no management at this point, and we would like you to, you can always amend things.
I think we can have a conversation with them. I think Angela can ask. Angela, in her role as the town clerk, deals with dog licenses and complaints about dogs come through her office as well. So Angela has agreed to kind of be our point person on talking to them. And I think once they get their board settled a little bit and maybe an executive director, I think we definitely should ask them to
Yeah,
come and
and
speak.
you can always, whenever contract, always have that, you can amend things. I'm not a lawyer, not trying.
I
to be a
agree,
lawyer.
yes, I agree, you can amend things, you can't do it yourself.
Yeah, but that's something you can always put it, considering extraneous circumstances, what we would like you to provide this year.
Yeah,
That
I can-
keeps everybody tight.
I mean, I can definitely, the next time I speak with her,
Yeah, please.
that's a request. I
Yep.
can put that through as a request and then you can either, I don't, that I would have probably.
Matt will have to.
Just put it in as a request, and if they give us pushback on it, then we'll address it.
Yeah.
Who signed the contract? Are they even with the SPC anymore?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Might not be a bad idea to get the contract redone.
We might want that just for.
They don't have an executive director right now.
I think you have to.
I'm sure that Daniel.
Probably an amendment to the contract.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that's who you want.
I know, but-
I don't think it's dog control officer that.
No, but these guys working for us, so I'd be happy to hear from him. He's
We
probably.
could have him too, but
I know,
And what-
but nobody else has.
Only.
We don't have any options besides SPCA. It's
No, I know, but,
only show in town, so we don't wanna.
but sometimes when you ask people, they start to step up, because if nobody asks, that's what happens, that redundancy, and if we didn't get the report, we say, hey, what are you doing? And accountability, I think, matters.
The last people had good reports for us and they're all gone. Hopefully, it's gonna take good people that they're bringing into the SPCA that's gonna fix this. Outside of that, it's gonna be the same thing.
Okay, thank you.
are there any other town board updates?
One, I forgot to put it on the agenda. It was supposed to be last week, but then last meeting, but I was sick and completely forgot all about it. I can put it back on the agenda. I really just don't know where to go from here. You were CC'd on the email. This is regarding a memorial for a DeWitt resident, Robert Walters. He served on the Sierra Club Executive Committee with myself. He passed away last year. And the Sierra Club would like the town of DeWitt's help in both finding a location for a memorial tree and a permanent bench. I have no idea where to go other than to present this to you and ask for help.
This is gonna be, there are a couple of possibilities, one of which I wanted to talk about tonight. So yes, yes, this is something we can definitely do. We just need to locate an appropriate.
Okay, well, where does Sierra Club need to come in with any funding?
I think it depends on what exactly we're doing.
We could probably raise the funding for this.
Yeah,
The Sierra Club is going to do that.
I mean, the tree is easy.
I think
The tree we can get for
A
free.
lot of donated.
The bench, we have accepted benches in memorial that other people have raised for in the past. So I think if they had raised funds for a permanent bench, we could easily accept that and install it on our dime. We've done that before.
Thank you.
And the entrance to Littleton, the green area.
It's a possibility.
Good idea. That'd be great. He was a great guy.
Whole story lives.
I didn't realize he lived in Orland. That's fantastic. Yeah. The one right after, across from Ruth's house?
Yeah.
Is that the green? Yeah, that'd be great.
There's a couple trees in there, but probably another tree and a bench would actually.
The whole neighborhood would really appreciate that. I know for a fact.
Like, can I be specific here and say, can we get like a cherry blossoming tree? So it has seasonality to it?
Let's see, I mean, it depends on what's available.
Yeah. There's a hardy.
Magnolia.
You can do magnolias
If
as well.
you've got a couple suggestions, I'll run it by the family.
I would love that. What we were talking about at Sierra Club was we would like a tree that if it has some like bloom or something special, it happens at the beginning of the natural cycle of the tree versus the fall where everything's just kind of going to decay. We want something that will have a moment.
Mhm.
So yeah, I can do that.
Cherry.
We be cherry bloom, please.
Yeah, great. Anything, any other updates? Okay, then I'll take a motion to enter executive session. From Bernard, a second from Joe. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. We are in executive session. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Right.
Been informative.
You.